Welcome back to Terrace Talks. I am Cass.
I'm Doug.
You are the Butler Brigade. You guys, this is our first one of 2026. Wow. It's hard to believe that it's already, what is it, about the third week of 2026?
Yeah, something like that.
So what's Terrace Talks? In case you are first time watching us on our secondary channel, this is DemButlers Unplugged. Terrace Talks is where we just invite another immigrant, foreigner, expat over, and we have a good conversation as if we're on our terrace or they're on theirs, and we just getting to know unfiltered, unplugged, unscripted, unedited conversation as if you were just having a normal conversation with someone. So hey, there's gonna be some over talking and there's gonna be some laughter and there's just gonna be this random stuff as if you normally would talk to someone. But welcome, Terrace Talks 2026. We're going to get started. So I always like to start off with an introduction. I'm going to allow the person to introduce yourself and feel free to tell us your name and where you happen to live or reside in the country of Panama. And then we're going to do an icebreaker. So please, the floor is yours. Who are we talking to today on Terrace Talks?
Well, thank you for inviting me for this. I really appreciate it. My name is Mike. On TikTok, I'm Maroon Phive. And then to my mom and my family, I've always been Miguel, so that's appropriate now in Panama. But that's kind of who I am. I am a new arrival to Panama. We moved in 2025, my family and I, so it's my wife and my two children. I have a 15-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter.
Oh, wow.
And we've been in Panama, transitioning, loving it, learning a lot, and just enjoying this piece.
Enjoying Panama. Where in the country of Panama do you call home?
So we're just outside. Yeah. So we're just across the bridge from Panama City in the Panama Pacifico area. And right now we're packing to move from where we are, but we'll still be in the same area. So you can see crates back there, Christmas stuff on the other side because we're getting everything in shape to move. But we're staying out here because it's close to where the kids go to school. Okay. And it's a good family community for us.
Now, I'm going to tell you just how good that background looked. I thought it was your, like a photo of the background. I thought it was a screensaver. I really did. I didn't think it was real. But people tell us that all the time until like a bird will fly by or a plane or something. They're like, oh my gosh, y'all background is real. I'm like, yeah, it's real. That's just the beauty of Panama. Right. The beauty of Panama. So you're packing up where, okay, first we're going to do an icebreaker. Okay. Now, I always say, Mike, Maroon Phive on TikTok, that you have a radio announcer's voice. You just sound like you've been announcing something. So before we even begin into our icebreaker, I'm going to throw that out there right now. Do you have a background in radio or where does the voice come from?
The voice comes from my parents. Whatever they chose to put in the mix is what I ended up with. But like professionally, I did IT work. But personally, I was a musician and a podcaster for many years. And so the ability to speak, communicate, and those things were honed through podcasting, and then also just public speaking in different ways. Unfortunately, my voice is not built for singing, but it's built for speaking. So that's what we have.
So you said you have a musical background. Is that vocal or is that instrumental?
No, it's just instruments. So I used to play for a band, a gospel band out of Washington, D.C. called Gideon Band. And we did a lot of work in the nation's capital, the East Coast, Midwest. Gideon Band, Gideon Band. And it was a great experience. I did that out of college. And what it allowed me to do is meet a lot of, musicians at a high level to hone our skills, travel the country, tour, got a lot of experience in studios, recording, and just playing for people because I've been a musician my whole life. So that was a great experience for us.
And what's your instrument of choice or instruments? Are you a Prince connoisseur? You can play 28 instruments or what's going on?
I wish. Guitar eludes me still. I played for that band, I played keys and organ. For the majority of my life, I played drums. The only problem is I couldn't play drums in that group because we had one of the best drummers in the world named Aaron Spears. He recently passed away, but he was the drummer for the band. And occasionally, when he couldn't make the gig because he was touring, I had to play, and that was so embarrassing. People come and looking to see him, and see me on the drums. But drums and keyboard is what I play.
Okay, I like that. I like to hear that. So no musical background as far as voice for those who keep going, because I know I say that it's very soothing. If you happen to listen to him on TikTok, he has a very soothing voice. It's very relaxing. You just feel like, I don't know, it's like a warm blanket. And so I don't know if your wife want to hear that or not, but it is. It's soothing. It's relaxing. You feel like you can read a nighttime bedtime story to people. So that's what I like about the voice. And it was the first thing that pulled me in when I found you on TikTok, and I was glad that
It's
we were actually able to connect.
it's a blessing and a curse because
Uh-oh.
like what you're saying is like, yeah, it's smooth, but sometimes it like I notice people like dozing off and I'm like, wait a minute, are you sleeping? Like what is going on?
Oh,
Why are you so relaxed? But I can see the
Oh,
long blinks and all of
it
that.
ain't you.
Cedric said we
We
old.
old.
Mike said, don't be putting me in that group. I got young kids, man. I got young kids. I got young kids. All right, so we're going to start with an icebreaker here. So I think I kind of already know, since you do have a musical background, I got to ask you this one. Got to ask you this one. So, greatest, since we're almost at that time of Super Bowl, greatest
Mhm.
Super Bowl performance of all times.
That's tough because Michael Jackson did a Super Bowl performance.
He did do a Super Bowl performance.
But for my favorite performance, I'm gonna have to Beyonce did a Super Bowl performance, didn't she?
He did. She shut it down, lost the power in Houston.
Yeah,
I think she's done too.
but Kendrick is gonna have to be the one for me. That's
I
gonna be
like Kendrick too. I
Kendrick's gonna be the
did.
call for me.
I
Yeah.
like Kendrick. I'm a Prince fan. You probably already
Hmm.
got to mention him already now twice. So
Yeah.
I'm going to rock with Prince, but I'm going to tell you the one that really, although Prince was a solo basically performer on stage, and then obviously it started raining in the whole nine. We've all seen the old videos. The one in recent times that really caught my eye that I was really engulfed, it was the whole LA scene one. The whole
Ooh,
everybody. That was a
yeah,
Dr. Dre did his thing, and I don't think many people even recognized how the different rooms were set up, and that it was a music studio, and that the
yeah,
other side was showing LA on the. I mean, I don't know. It was just an amazing setup. It really
yeah,
was. So, in recent times, that one really caught my eye. That I thought LA represented real hard. They really did. They came out hard. So,
yeah. That's
go
one of
ahead.
the better ones for sure because of all of the different looks. Interesting about that one, like a friend of mine, Adam Blackstone, was the music director for that, and he does a lot of like events like Grammys, American Music Awards, stuff like that. He
Okay.
was the MD for that, and his company, Basic Black Entertainment, usually does those things, and they are responsible for creating that musical feel that goes throughout a lot of these performances, including that one. So, like I
Okay.
said, I've been fortunate to be around some really really talented people, and it's just good to know that people are doing well and doing
Good stuff.
working with the gifts that they have. Yeah.
Now, Mike, all this time of knowing this, or I shouldn't say all this time of knowing you, but this is even more important to Dove and I in connecting with you, which is something I didn't even know, but that's going to be a secondary conversation.
Mhm.
One of the things that we always say that's somewhat missing in Panama when you get here, and in talking to Tony Bowers, who is part of TNT Productions, he said when he used to live here, I don't know how long ago, Tony, so don't quote me, let's just go 10, 15 years ago, Panama was a major hub for live music concerts. And a lot of that, what we consider smooth jazz, uh,
Hmm.
they used to come here. And I say to the American immigrant that relocates here, one of the things that I find that's missing is the entertainment aspect of music in live
Yeah.
production. No different than how we now see that concerts or festivals go on in DR or in Jamaica, these huge
Yeah.
festivals. And I am hoping that we can be an advocate of getting those to come back, because there is a major hub of the American immigrant that's relocating here that we just happen to love music. And I think
Yeah.
that when you talk to most of us say one of the things that we kind of miss the most is that live music concert feel, the concerts, not
Yeah.
going to a pub or a lounge. That's plenty around here in Panama. We're going concerts. So to know that
Yeah.
that's a background of yours, have you performed in any concerts? Is that something you check mark in anything?
Here in Panama?
Or in
No.
general, in general.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
done a lot of performances like around the country and stuff.
Okay.
But the thing I'll say about the music here, what you're saying is accurate, 100%. And I want to caveat by saying like our stuff, like we miss our thing. So for instance, the Brandy and Monica show, I didn't get a chance to see because I was over here and I would
Uh-huh.
have loved to go and see that. But the opportunity for me is there's music here that I'm still learning and discovering. And
Yeah.
so there are concerts, but I need to get my Spanish together so I
That's
can understand
correct.
what's going on. I
Because
need
you
to,
feel left out. I mean, they
right.
jamming. And a lot of people don't realize this, and Mike might know this, but I didn't know this, that reggaeton originated in
In
Panama.
Panama,
So
right.
for many people that are reggae people, and you're like, no, that's Jamaica. No, reggae originated in Panama. It then transitioned to Jamaica, but the original form of reggae hailed out of here. And so there's all types of different genres of music, which I'm a music person. Cedric is a music person as well. I can vibe to any music, but you can tell the Panamanians be jamming. And like you said, I'm
Yeah.
not fluent in Spanish enough to be sitting there going, what are they saying? But I
Yeah.
can tell that the vibe and the energy is there. The vibe and the energy is there.
Yeah, and as a musician, specifically a percussionist, drummer, like I see that in a lot of things. Like I'll go to the parades and I see what's going on there. I'll go. I was in Ray the other day. Guy was bagging the good groceries and he's sitting there banging drum rhythms out on the little counter. I'm
The
like, yo, this
counter.
is everywhere, and I love it. I love
I love
that the
it.
music is just part of. Like I would go to around town center and they just have a pop up concert over there. Like somebody's just performing. They setting up
Wow.
stages in different places. I'm like, yeah, this is, and that's something that I want to be a part of. Like, I want to, maybe eventually play. Musicians, it was different in the United States. I don't have to
Okay.
talk about that, but you got to have time to perform at a certain level. And
Hmm.
so when you get, like, you don't have time to practice like you do when you're younger. Once you get a
Correct.
family and responsibility and stuff like that, and so to keep up with these young dudes, older dudes don't really have the time to do that. So playing in the United States was something that really didn't attract me after a while because I had other things that I was focused on.
Exactly.
But over here, I mean, it's not that I don't have the ability or the skill. At one point, I'd like to see what can happen over here. But I just love the music scene
I love
over
it.
here, so that I've observed because it's bringing in all of these cultures from around the world, and everyone's expressing themselves. We were just in Costco Viejo last weekend, and they had an indigenous tribe that was dancing and singing, I mean, like with their flutes. And then right like maybe 10 yards away, it
Uh-huh.
was the policeman doing another type of dance, another rhythm, everything. It was beautiful. I'm
It's
like, yeah,
beautiful.
this is
And
a
you can hear
beautiful,
everything. You can hear
yeah,
everything, just as you just said. You can hear the tribal drums. Uh, Cedric and I have been walking in Costco Viejo, and we've walked past the saxophones who've been playing Boney James. I mean, so I
yeah,
mean, it's the wide spectrum of just whatever. You can go to some place and you can hear
yeah.
Afro beats, you can hear reggaeton, you can hear Chris Brown, you can hear traditional Latin music. It's a melting pot of music, and I do love that. Just like you just shared, I do wish I understood Spanish more. Definitely on the vocalists
Mhm.
that we'll go listen to sometimes. Just to know that especially when they're talking to the crowd and they're getting ramped up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to be able to yell, so I just yell, and everybody else is yelling. They yell, I yell, hey, whatever we yelling about. I don't know what we yelling about, but everybody else is yelling. But my goal is to definitely see more live music in the form of what we are used to
Mhm.
back in the U.S. Traditional concerts to put us
Yeah,
on the spot, just like these major artists. I think Keith Sweat does something in Dominican Republic every year,
yeah.
the Sweat thing. I don't know. I just want to just put Panama on the map as well. So
No, that's fair. I mean, people add to the culture here, and so adding that element to the culture it seems to be a welcome addition in Panama, like anything else.
now you said that you did gospel music, but from the DMV area. Now I'm not gonna
Hmm.
lie. The first thing that popped in my mind about DMV is the go-go music. Did
Oh
the
yeah.
did the gospel music Was it
Hmm.
straight gospel music, or did it also entail a little bit more populist sound?
Yeah, so in that area, you start in go-go. Like that's where you start to develop as a musician.
Uh-huh.
That's the regional music. That's our thing, and we love it.
Yeah.
As you mature as a musician, it's not that that's immature as a music, but as you start to expand your musical palette, you go into other spaces. This was the band that I was in was a gospel group, but it wasn't the type of gospel. It was more like quartet type guy. It was more like Mint Condition, Earth, Wind and Fire type. It was a
Okay,
band.
a
And
band.
so like we really went crazy in our live performances to give like a really complex music feel in addition to like saying some things lyrically that really weren't being said at the time. And
Okay,
so at the time it was unique because no one was really doing that. And it took us to some places that we really learned a lot.
I love
So it wasn't just, so we would play it. We wouldn't just play gospel shows. We would play other shows like when they had festivals like Black family reunions,
Yes.
sister, what is it called? Sisters, I don't
I
remember.
think it was
It's
called
like,
Sister. They had chocolate
it
cake.
wasn't unusual for us to be on the stage with, like a Shante Moore or 112 at the time, or, a Tank or a comedian like Monique or whatever. Like the type of music that we did put us in
And
different
open up
places.
doors. I love it.
Yeah,
I was glad to hear. Did you bring any of your instruments with you?
I did. I didn't bring any drums with me. I bought my keyboards, a guitar, and a bass guitar.
Okay. Now, are you just musically inclined, or did you take professional lessons, Mike?
I did. I've taken lessons my whole life. I started taking drum lessons at 6, and I
Wow.
never really stopped learning music from at different levels, all the way through undergrad, and then through the professional. The professional part of the career was about 15, almost 20 years. So, yeah, I've been a musician all my whole life, basically.
I'm glad to hear that. So now we're gonna go into, I like to call it the BP. That's before
Okay.
Panama segment. So your elevator pitch. If I didn't know you, tell me who was Mike before coming to Panama. Whatever you would like to share, whether that's personal, how you grew up, what area of the country do you hail from, married, single, children. I know you've already
Yeah.
shared that, and what you were in your professional career. Floor is yours.
Okay. So I'm from Maryland, lived there my entire life. I never lived outside of Maryland before I moved to Panama.
Okay.
Um, I was, of course, I mentioned a husband and a father, son and a brother. I've been a musician. I am a theologian. I graduated from seminary in 2022.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm an IT professional of over 25 years.
Wow.
Um, I like I said, a podcaster. I've
Uh-huh.
gone to culinary school. When I look at my life and the things that I've, experienced, it really feels like I'm watching Forrest Gump again. Like it's like these things don't match. All the stuff that you're doing it don't fit, but
Yes, it
it's
does.
I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly like I want to know new things and just understand more about the world. And so wherever that takes me, I've been fortunate enough to be a quick learner, and always curious. And so I take that journey wherever it leads me.
Now, it's
And
funny
so
that you said, because I have found creative people do dibble and dabble, but they master a lot. The only thing
mhm,
that threw me off, because I understand the musician, even the culinary makes sense. That makes sense. It's the IT. You don't find
mm,
a lot of creative people that typically go into something more structured like IT, because
mhm,
creatives,
Do your own
they
thing.
do their own thing. I mean, they're creative. I mean, a
yeah.
creative person might write poetry at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then they might go do something else. And something in IT is very regimented and structured. That's the only thing that threw me off about your
Mm.
Rolodex of what you said that your background pertains to. So
Well, it's
what IT?
also
Go ahead. Go ahead.
it's a creative field as well. So
Okay.
when I was working at the National Weather Service in the mid 90s, now this is the Department of Commerce, but that was at a time when the internet was going from basically Black Planet was big at the time.
Yeah. I
And web development was just as a developing field. And so you could create your page and make it however you want. And that interested me, like learning HTML and saying, oh, I can make the page do this and being creative that way, which
Mhm.
ended up turning into like a 20-year career in web development. But also while I was there, they gave me the opportunity as a student, and this was crazy, to develop this flood forecasting application with a bunch of people that were actually government employees there. I was just an intern, but I led this team of application developers in this language that we none of us knew to develop this flood forecast mapping application that was used by emergency managers, insurance
Oh
adjusters.
wow.
And I was like, yo, this is an opportunity for me to learn something new and build something. So software development, all types of development, even, project management, all of those things I look at as a creative because it's it's an opportunity for me to do something different. And in addition to that, my undergraduate degree is in psychology,
Mm-hmm.
and I always bring that people focus to whatever I'm doing, including IT, whether that's color theory or whatever it is that I'm bringing. Like, how do I get this to connect with people in a way that's going to resonate with them?
Wow. That's okay. I don't believe in coincidences, and Cedric knows that I do not believe in coincidences. I believe that everything has a path, and you're just walking into your destiny. And so, to hear your resume, even professionally, that's just amazing. And it's funny because I ain't thought about Black Planet in so long. I'm like, oh yeah, we used to do that
We
Black
all
Planet.
love it.
Yeah, MySpace, Black Planet. I just hadn't even thought about any of that. And so now, currently, the flash flood weather app or development that you were able to assist in getting out there, is it still currently used? Do you see
No,
your work now?
no,
Okay.
no. So the cool thing about that process was that was my first like publication in a scientific journal. Well, actually, wait a minute, is that true? That was my first publication where I actually was a active participant. I was
Okay.
published at this animal science lab that I used to work at a while ago, but that one, it was used. The system is still used, but it's not used um, as widely as like a Doppler or anything. It's the same type of system.
Mm-hmm.
It'll show you kind of where the flood forecast will predict the flooding, so you know if you're in a flood zone, this is what you're getting. It'll overlay it over maps and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
that was so many years ago. They're
Yeah,
not using
it's
that anymore.
changed. Yeah, technology. He
Yeah,
said, "No, they've been doing since that time."
yeah.
I understand. I understand. That's a. And then now let's go. I gotta. You mentioned it, but I gotta pick back on it because I'm a foodie. I'm a foodie
Mhm.
by just loving food. I love food. You mentioned you culinary trained. Was there a specialty as an area? Desserts, meat. I mean, but what's
Yeah,
your area?
so definitely more of a savory chef. Lynette, my wife, she's the baker. She actually had a business baking and was really exceptional. But I'm gonna get in the kitchen with a pan and I'm gonna go to work. And it's
Okay.
different types of cuisine like New Orleans, soul food. I just love the creative part of putting together
Putting the
flavors in a
meal
way
together.
that people wouldn't expect and would be really surprised by. I mean, not
I'm,
like it's not like peanut butter and pickles, but it's like, it's something that you didn't think that would work together and you love how it does.
have you been able to dibble and dabble by going to get new ingredients here in Panama? Or
Yeah.
okay, what's
So
been
I'm
your? Go
learning.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
No, go
off.
ahead. No, go ahead. You're learning. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just learning the different vegetables and roots that they have here. It's like I go into the store and I'm like, what is that? I don't know what that is. But then I'm like, okay, that's like a thing. And
Yes.
so then you can start to like some of the dishes that I will make, I can't make because I don't have all the ingredients here.
Hmm.
And I have to figure out how to do it here.
I'm doing the
And
same thing.
yeah, it's good though. That's what you do when you're in a new country.
I'm not
Yep, that's
professionally
exactly what you're
trained.
supposed to do.
I'm grandmama home cooking trained. Go there and snap them peas. Help me shell this and cut this. That's where my love of food comes from. And so I have found that one of the vegetables that I tend to absolutely love, I'm a green vegetable person. So
Hmm.
I haven't been able to find my highest level of green vegetables that I actually like. But like you said, I'm replacing, I'm adding, I'm putting things to it. And it has been interesting, just like you said. Cedric and I go to the grocery store and we got that Google Translate on or the camera featured, and we're like, well, what is
What is
this?
this? Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah,
And what is this?
yeah.
And we've been able to come across some actual surprises and then some things that we weren't expecting. How has the food tasted to you? So coming from an area of obviously enjoying food, but then coming from a culinary place, how has it tasted to you as far as you buying it?
The food tastes lively is the best way I can explain. Like it's the fish is fresh, like and it feels fresh after you eat it. The vegetables, they are not just fresh, but like they're gonna go bad on you that week. Like if you don't cook it, like back in the United States, I could get some grapes. Those grapes are gonna be there 3, 4 weeks later. They're gonna look just like the same grapes I got. Over here, you got to go to the market every week, sometimes every day. And
Yes.
so the food tastes live. Like I feel like I'm closer to the source of where the food came from over here. The flavor palette is definitely varied here. You got Spanish traditional Spanish flavors. You have West African flavors. You have Caribbean flavors. You have many Asian types, especially out where I live. It's a lot of Asian food. You got Indian. Panama is not just a melting pot of people, but people bring who they are
I
with them.
agree. I agree
And
with that.
so these flavor combinations are incredible. I love it
Yeah.
out here.
And I love it. I love coming across things that we've never had. Even when presentation wise, we've ordered something, Cedric and I both have ordered something like when they come out, we're like, oh, okay, maybe I messed up. I didn't think that's what I
Hmm.
wanted.
What's that?
But we tried anyway. We literally tried anyway. Our biggest thing, as long as it doesn't have mushrooms in it, we can try it because he's allergic to mushrooms.
Okay.
And Panamanians don't really cook with a huge essence of mushrooms. It's not something we really have to worry about. And there have
Mm.
been some surprises. There have been some things that we like, we didn't think we ordered that. And obviously, in our limited Spanish, we ordered it because they brought it out. But then we ate it and it was like, man, that was really good. That tasted
Yeah.
good. Our biggest thing that we had to probably adjust to was, as you said, the freshness of food not lasting as long because it doesn't have all the, whatever you would like to say, chemicals, pesticides, just whatever. It doesn't have all that in it. But also, it was the sweetness. We had to.
Mm.
Once we became acclimated to the natural sweetness of things,
Mhm.
now American based things taste too sweet
sweet.
to us.
Yeah.
They're too sweet.
Yeah.
So that didn't take long for us to become acclimated to the fact that I don't know whether it's just raw sugar or better, and I don't know, there's not all the junk in it. The natural taste of a fruit. You're like, man,
Mhm.
this is what a regular strawberry tastes like. This is what I mean, it doesn't have all that stuff in it. And it took a minute for us to get used to it. But then once we did, now when we do venture back to the US or we have something that's US based by going to an American based type of a place, you're like,
Mhm.
oh, that's sweet. I mean, I made a Dunkin' Hines cake probably about 2 months ago. Had to throw that cake away. Just a regular, and I'm not a pastry. I know you said your wife is a pastry chef. Nah, this was a box cake. Box cake,
Hey, you could do that. That's good.
icing, and we
Yeah.
threw that cake away.
The icing was too
Cedric said, "Oh my God,
straight
this
sugar.
is too sweet." You get used to it really quick. It's like you get used to the heat and everything. But I like that. I'm to hear about your move. Now we're gonna talk about the fact why Panama. I know you said you have a wife and preteen teenager. You have a family. You're a family of four. Back in DMV,
Mhm.
one day you just said, "Where do y'all want to go?" Or how did this conversation come about?
No, I've wanted to leave for many years. I
Okay.
was trying to I couldn't convince my wife to go.
Okay.
So we went to Canada,
Okay.
and this was maybe like 2017, 2018, something like that. And I got to Canada and I was like, yo, I'm on edge because we drove up there because we from Maryland, so you could drive. It's like an 8-hour drive up to Canada.
Okay.
And I'm driving there. I'm trying to make sure I'm driving the speed limit and all that stuff. I'm just nervous, whatever. Then by the third day, I'm like, man, these people are not looking for me. They don't care what
Yeah.
I'm doing. And so for the rest of the time that we were there, I was like relaxed. And so time frame, Trayvon Martin is 2012. So
Oh,
by this time,
wow.
we had been seeing a bunch of black murders
Murders.
throughout the United States. And so being hyper aware of the danger, being able to not feel that, I was like, oh man, I need to live like this. And so ever since then, I've been trying to move, but she wasn't ready to move. The nail in the coffin for that, or the final straw, was that last election.
Yeah.
Um, it was like,
Tell the
man,
truth.
yeah, this is what they chose. Um, and to me, leading up to that, um, I had read the plan that they had as a federal employee because I'm looking at, and I'm like, all right, well, knowing what that plan was, knowing there was nothing stopping full implementation of that plan,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the damage that's going to be done here is going to last so much longer than I have left to live. And I've been fighting in this thing for years. I'm not spending my whole life doing that. Like
Wow.
they've messed this up for decades.
Yeah.
I don't know how many decades I have left.
How many days
So
I got left? Yeah.
I deserve some of my life to be peaceful.
Yep.
I deserve the opportunity to show my children that there's something else, there's another alternative. And because I can't do this here, we've tried, our people have tried and done everything that we could do. Um, it's time for us to do something else.
Okay.
So that's what opened her up to the idea. And so by that time, I had researched countries and was down to Portugal and Panama. And so I said, look, these two countries meet our requirements.
Mm-hmm.
You can take a look at them, see. She said, no, Portugal's too far. So then
Okay.
we zeroed in on Panama.
Mm-hmm. And so,
And then
and
once we started doing that, then she started to learn, yeah, and
about,
understand more about, we both did. It was like, oh, wow, we didn't know you could do that. We didn't know that was possible, whatever. And then we started to get excited about it. Then you start to dream. And then, next thing you know, we over here.
how was it a family decision, or was it a matter mom and dad have decided logically, children, you have no choice but to come along, or did you really
Oh,
embrace them and
so the kids, they did not want to come
they didn't
initially.
want to
They
come?
that first conversation was tough.
Yeah.
A lot of tears because they don't like moving. And they're leaving all their friends. They leaving the entire life that they've known, and they never moved before. The house that we're moving from is the one they were born in, so they don't
Wow.
know what this is. So yeah, they didn't like it. Eventually, even before we moved, my son started to come on board with the idea because we started to share more with them
Okay.
about what it is that we saw, and to a certain degree, what it is that was about to happen where we were living now. I mean, because the assumption is the life that we've known is the life that we'll know, and that's not
That
true.
wasn't it.
Things are changing. We can even see now, and so educating them a little bit at a kid level about what it was, and then showing them the dream on the other side
Mm-hmm.
brought him along. My daughter, she wasn't with it.
At all.
Even after we got here, she was like, she'd be like, you see her enjoying something, like you see her enjoying the nature
I'm seeing you
and
loving it.
everything, and she'd be like, yeah, that's nice for y'all. I'm like,
Oh
man,
wow,
listen,
the
look.
jabs.
So eventually she came on board once they started school and started to meet people and see that, the world doesn't end just because your life changes.
Oh, I
So
love it.
it was a parental decision.
Uh-huh.
And we tried to bring them along with us as much as possible. Even in choosing our place to live, we didn't choose where we were living without them. We wanted to do
Yeah.
that with
Get to
them.
put them
So
first, knowing that they would be
yeah.
uprooted. So at the time, I'm going to assume you said 12 and 15. Is that they're about American sixth, seventh grade, American eighth, ninth grade,
Yes.
going into the next school year?
Yeah, sixth and ninth grade is what they finished before we came here.
Okay. So are they in, as much as you would like to disclose in regards to
Mhm.
their education here, are they in are they in Panamanian school? Are they in American based school? Anything you would like to share on that they transition to?
Yeah, so they're in an international school on the American calendar, and we chose that for a few reasons. We chose that because we wanted the graduation dates to line up so that the decision that they make after school, there wouldn't be like a huge gap between the time. Also, we knew that we didn't know Spanish well enough to put them in just a traditional Panamanian public
Yeah.
school. That's too much to go to the next grade and not have the language. So we had to put them in an international school so that most of the subjects could be taught in English, except for like Spanish and maybe one or two other classes. They would still have Spanish speaking friends,
They
but they would still be able to further their education without being encumbered by a language challenge as well.
their immediate peer group that you have found that they're embraced with, are they you said it's an international school, but is it an international school that you find Panamanian students also at, or do they have Panamanian friends? Are they more surrounded by immigrant foreigner friends?
Yeah, so it's both. They have Panamanian friends here too, in the school, Panamanian students in the school. Their friend groups are a mix of people from all over the world. And when I listen to like where their friends are from, I'm like, man, they would not have got this type of exposure unless we did something like this. And like I think back on my experience, I didn't really start to get that type of exposure until I went to undergrad. And then
Oh
you get
wow,
all these people coming in from all over the world.
undergrad
But they're
college.
yeah, yeah. So now they're talking to people from all different countries, different languages. They learn. I mean, this is a beautiful experience for them. But yes, a lot of them are Spanish speaking. So either Panamanian or Colombia, Guatemala, Venezuela. Like it's a lot of diversity there.
And is the school, do they have Spanish as a language that they have to also learn in class?
Yes.
Okay. And how
Yeah,
are
so
they?
they take Spanish every day. They take Spanish every day. That's and that that class is a full immersion. There's no, it doesn't feel like there's any English spoken in that class. Even
Oh,
when we go
wow.
for parent teacher conference, I'm like, man, I'm taking Spanish. This is
I'm,
Spanish all the
I'm in
time.
class
Yeah,
too.
and so the same teacher also teaches civics, and that's fully in Spanish as well. So the Panamanian civics, so they're learning, as they go, and they have to, explain when they don't know, when they don't understand something. But every other class is in English.
What's their daily life? School starts at what time? It ends at what time? Is it a 5-day calendar week? I know you said it mirrors the
Yeah,
American school calendar, but is it just like 8 to 4 thereabout, Monday
yeah.
through
So
Friday?
the school is like from 8 to 3, and then
Okay.
whatever after school activities you have on Friday is from 8 to noon, and then they out for the rest of the day. I mean, that's something that we learned. We didn't know. Like at one school, was we had toured 6 schools before we
Okay.
chose one. One of the schools, they only went to school 4 days a week. The kids wanted to go to that school. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Of
yeah, I
course
know
they
why you want to
did.
go to that
I'm sure
school.
that's the one. Uh,
Yeah, but the scheduling is a little bit different, and that's culture here because the Friday you get out early because a lot of times Panamanians are gonna go to the beach, and
they
you're
do.
not gonna sit in traffic all day, so you're gonna get this family out of here in time to get on the road and head to where you're going.
And it's funny you just said that because I was actually getting ready to go into the family atmosphere. One of the things Cedric and I, we have adult children. Our youngest child is
30.
30. So, but we're in the grandparent phase. And when our grandkids came last summer, they were actually one of our first.
Visitors.
They were
Yeah.
our first visitor. Our
Absolutely.
grandkids were our first visitor. And one of the things that we know, even before we brought them here, Panama, I can't say as a country, but it seems like as a country, is very family oriented. We're right here. That view is Parque Omar that we look down at, and we sit out there on that terrace. We walk the park, and it is so fun to see
Mm.
families. The thing that we like to say, I don't know your age bracket, Mike, Cedric and I are, well, you getting ready to be mid-50s. I'm still early 50s. But you getting ready to hit that nickel. You got to come on up to the mid. But one of the things that we like to say is that it reminds us, because we're children born in the 70s, but we were raised in the 80s being children.
Mhm.
It reminds us of the 80s, how you used to just get out there and ride your bike, drink from the water fountain, didn't want to come back home until the sun set, and that's what you see. You see families just enjoying each other, not invested in the video games, not doing anything astronomically crazy that's expensive, whether that's kicking a ball, flying a frisbee, blowing bubbles, sitting on the blanket, just enjoying each other. You came with a family.
Yeah.
Have you been able to feel like y'all have gotten more connected, especially going into that teenager year where most kids now be like, yeah, mom and dad, y'all cool, I'll see y'all later. Has it brought y'all closer together? Do you feel that family love that Panama tends to bring?
Yeah, actually, that's a great comparison. Like it does feel like the 80s. Just in terms of what you do, how you show up in the world, like not quite 80s prices, but closer to 80s prices than the United States.
Yeah.
The
So it's
United States, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, the mall scene, like just to be able to let them go to the mall and hang out. But in terms of, just being closer, yes, we are closer, partly because it's just us.
Yes,
And
sir.
COVID taught us that. Like COVID was the thing that showed us it can be just us and we can be okay. We
Yeah.
didn't need anybody. When they started to open the world back up, I was like, man, why are they doing this? Like we
It's
fine.
people there. It's people.
Yeah. Everybody breathing on each other. I'm
Oh
like,
my
man,
God,
this is
don't get
we
me
were
started
fine.
with that. Mike, we're cut from the
Oh my
same
God.
cloth. You want to see my face? I don't have a poker face. Come around
Somebody
me and start
coughing.
coughing and sneezing. And yeah, I'm wrong with you. Get that mess on.
Yeah,
And
but
that's currently to this day right now. It's like I'm in the social realm, but I don't really like a whole lot of people.
yeah, I feel you. And COVID it changed us in a lot of ways, and showing us like we were basically it was the four of us for 2 years. We didn't
Wow.
do and we didn't hate each other. We know it was good. But over here, what's different is now there are other people around, and it's just us. So not being proficient in Spanish like binds you together because it's you the ones you talking to each other.
Yeah. You
Um,
talking to each
but
other.
also you don't have the distractions that you would normally have like as a teenager. Like you're not trying to just get out and do these other things. Like you also have, we move together as a family, so we
I like
depend
that.
on each other.
I know what you mean.
Um,
You
and
don't
so
got
like even for like illnesses and stuff like that, like they need to know what's going on so they can recognize certain things and stuff like that. So, we're our people. And so we are close in that respect. We have luckily have not reached any difficult teenage angst yet, but that may come, but whatever. We'll handle it like everyone else.
like everybody else does. Like everybody else does. I like that. How is you got that normal stage at teenage. You said you're a 15-year-old young man. The getting the driver's license, getting the first job, and those things somewhat change here. It's a different path here in Panama. How have
Yes.
you been able to adjust? Have y'all had to have those conversations? Because people don't realize that here in Panama, teenagers don't. There are no
They don't
teenagers
work.
working in McDonald's or at the store. You
Hmm.
don't have teenage jobs. You don't get your first job until you're 18, and that's if you get it then. Education is really key here in Panama. The family depends on that. How has he been able to? I don't know whether he was looking forward to that or playing sports. How has that transition been?
Well, so that is a great thing to think through. That actually, I don't think we realized the difference until we got here.
Okay.
Because what you should be doing at this age, at his age,
Uh-huh.
is prepping to drive, getting your work experience in a
Yep.
way where it's low risk and you can mess up and learn the lessons before you get into the job. So those type of things are not as right. It's hard enough for adults to get jobs over here. So,
Correct.
as a teenager, you struggling. My daughter got a job. She is
Really?
out. Yeah, she is a dog sitting for
And that is so needed here. Now, if
yeah.
you Panama, in case everybody watching this, and we get access a lot of times, we have a subgroup in our WhatsApp group called the Pet Brigade. Baby,
Hmm.
these people love the animals, and when I say these people, I don't mean it like it's a separate group. I mean the
No,
fact that
everyone.
Cedric and I are not pet parents. That's what I mean by these
Hmm.
people. But when I say they are not leaving them behind in the US, whatever documents or financial means they have to invest in to get them here, they're going to do it. And they looking for pet sitters, pet groomers, pet everything. So for your daughter to go into that realm, she gonna be all right. She's already thinking entrepreneurship because that
Yeah.
pet brigade, it stays popping with them the walkers, babysitters. They want to go out,
Hmm.
or just whatever. They're going to go back to the United States. They don't want to take their animal. They need somebody to watch them for them. I love the
Yeah.
fact that she has found a resource and is being used in it. I mean, that's really
Yeah.
smart right there.
Now him, we looking at other opportunities for him. So driving, I'm not interested in him driving at this stage because I
Never. Not here.
that's a it's different out here. It's a
Not here.
different driving out here.
Yeah,
Not here.
it's a whole nother animal.
Take him to one of them go-kart places and let him go get the driving around at the mall for a couple of hours in a safe
Yeah.
environment and go, you're getting used to the pedal and the steering wheel, but we gonna do this safely, bro. We ain't doing this driver's license thing. I don't do
Yeah,
it.
that's throwing him to the wolves to
Has
get
it
him
really?
started driving out here. We practiced in the United States before we left, so it's
Okay.
not that he's completely inexperienced,
Uh-huh.
but over here that's not the focus. Work wise, we started a company in the United States before we left, and his opportunity is going to come for learning like basic work skills through that,
There
and
you
he'll get a
go,
job
Dad.
that way.
Okay, you have a company
So that way
business.
we can train him and show him what he needs to know and prep him before he gets out here. So that's something for parents that to consider. Like you're gonna have to find creative ways to get them those things that they need, but then also be mindful that the path doesn't necessarily have to be the path that you went on.
Here in
So,
the
like
US.
I talked to him about stuff like, you know, yeah, you might want to go into the Peace Corps and see the world that way. You might want to do other things that we wouldn't have considered at
Right.
home because you got this,
They
high school,
travel.
college, grad school, whatever. Um, you're going to be armed with a second language. That's going to open up a lot of the world to you to
Absolutely is.
find different opportunities. So like he's going to Japan with his school in May. Um, and it's like this really cool STEM program where they're going to pair them up with Japanese students and they have tasks to complete around the country. and the Japanese students don't speak English or Spanish, and then the students here don't speak Japanese. But the goal of the
Figure
program
out.
is to show them that you can still work together
Still
using
works together.
tools, AI, translators, etc. You can still find a way to work with people even if you don't speak the same language, and it's about global citizenry. So he's getting other types of experiences that he would not have gotten in the United States. So yeah, it's different, but we're embracing the difference.
I love it. Now, Mike, before we get off this topic and go into our rapid fire, I want to ask you this one here because of the fact I know you did relocate here with the family, and I'm not sure if you're retired. What visa status, if you want to share, were y'all able to come here under for those that are at home that have children that are like, we don't want to live in country no more either. What was the best way that you saw that was going to be the easiest or the best transition for your family under what visa status that y'all try to come here under?
Okay, so we came in. I know a lot of people come in on pensionado, but we came in on friendly nations, which is a little bit different. And with a family, I say we on a higher difficulty level because the pension is not coming in at this point. So you have to find a way to earn income in
Earn-
Panama, where there are limitations on what you can do in Panama.
Right.
So you have that limitation, but then you also have the benefit of being able to work
Mhm.
legally. And so you can earn that way. But then we also have kids in school. So, that costs money, and
Yep.
you got to figure out how you're going to do that.
And it's funny
So
you
right
say
now,
that.
yeah, it's not cheap. It's,
No,
it's
and
different.
we've had Michelle Barksdale Smith on before, and I always like, definitely have people on here that have families. I like to have other people hear that because of the fact that we have conditioned from the US that a lot of your education is complementary or included, whether that's public school or even charter schools. You don't really have to go
Mhm.
into a paid for education until you go into private school. And even the numbers that most people hear, whatever that is in the US, it tends to be a reachable number that you're like, okay, that's an investment that I know. I'm thinking about private school. But here in Panama, that number can surprise many people. And even Michelle shared that, hey, she likes to put it in the line of a car, that you got everything from, I think she said, a Honda to a Bentley. It just depends on what you can invest in without giving out to the final penny. I don't like to do that. If you can share with those that happen to be considering just what your family your family happens to spend thereabout in your children's education just alone, so they can know that may be something
Yeah.
you may have to do.
So you should be if you're doing like an international school, is a range.
A range,
Um,
just a range.
um, So the range is higher in the city and is lower further out, in the
Okay.
beach area, like Coronado area. You could spend anywhere from 4,000 a year per student
Mm-hmm.
to 10, 12,000 dollars a year per student. But then on top of that, there are other fees that we're not used to paying in the United States, like capital donation fee, which is like a fee that you pay to get into the school.
Right.
That's not your application fee. That's not any of that. What it is it's a fee that they use to help maintain the school. But it works as this is not what they say it is, but it works as a deterrent from you just moving schools. So if you
Yeah,
had to
just flip
pay
flopping.
$8,000 to $10,000 for your kid to get into the school, you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to just go like, I don't like that teacher, so let me move him to another school.
That's correct.
So you have that fee in addition to whatever your tuition ends up being. The interesting thing is when we were in the United States, both my wife and I were making great money,
Mm-hmm.
well in the six figures, but we couldn't afford to send our kids to a private school in
Private
the
school.
US.
Isn't that
Here,
amazing?
we're making a fraction of what we were making in the United States, and they're in a private school. So I mean, yes, it's expensive, but it's also doable.
Right.
Hmm.
It depends on how you look at the life and what you're able
Yeah.
to then adjust to and for. And I like that.
Yep.
Cedric and I say that it depends on how you want to live, but it can be done. If you want to leave the U.S. or whatever your home country is, we're going to always say the U.S. It can be done with you don't have to wait till you're 70 years old and retire and everybody's out of the house. You may not make it to 70. That's just the way life goes. You may not make it. And this is something that was on the realm that you wanted to do as a family. And obviously, you didn't want to wait till everybody was gone. And I've had conversations with Mike before, and I've said to him, we were sitting in the back of a bus one time, and I told him, I said, you may not even realize, and I know he does, he's a father, that your whole legacy, the path of your children totally changed with that move. I mean, it just
Mm.
totally changed. Whatever trajectory that you thought your family might have been on is different. It's totally different. Not only that they get a slower paced lifestyle. A lot of the reason that most of us as teenagers went and got teenage jobs was not only was it to financially help out with the household, but because our families could not also afford to give us a lot of the things that we wanted to do. Our families were working to take care of the needs. And so if you wanted to be in baseball or football or band, you had to go get that teenage job and you had to go do those other things that you somewhat then lost your childhood in a way because you're now working in an adult environment. You're getting rules and regulations and jobs and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. As you said, you've shared that the exposure, just another culture, travel, the way that other people live. Have you thought about that? Have you really thought about the fact that my family path has just totally changed now?
Yeah, that's one of the things I think about often because you want to make the right decision. You don't want to harm them. You want to put them in a position that helps them. But um, your parents and my parents were great. They raised me for the world that they knew. And so I saw my dad get up, at 4 a.m., go to work at the same job for over 30 years, get his pension and go out and retire. And that's what he trained me to do. So he trained me to be a little bit better than him. So he trained me to go to college and then, I go to grad school and all these things to go a little bit further than him. But the thing that he could not train me for, which I'm glad I'm learning now, you can get your money up and walk away from the table up early. Like I don't have to go all the way till I'm 60 and wait to retirement. The life expectancy for black men in the United States is 65. Why am I working to 62?
Yep.
I could walk away from the table in my 40s and still be able to have a good life and develop, improve my health profile,
Hmm.
reduce my stress, reduce a lot of the things that would kill me early and still enjoy life, still live a good life. So yeah, that's another thing that I'm showing my children. Like, yeah, you could take this path or you could do this other thing. If you figure out a way to get it up, like get your money up, invest early,
Yes.
watch that grow, figure out how to buy smart things instead of things that's going to depreciate. You do those things and you do them right, you got a lot more choices in front of you.
You do.
So yeah, we're teaching them as much as we could teach them as we're learning ourselves. It's
Yeah.
beautiful for them. It's beautiful for us because we weren't told we could retire, semi-retire in our 40s. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like if I'd have known that, I'd have ran to that. But now I know it. And so
Now
I'm
you know.
living in it and loving it.
And I love that as well. I like seeing that this next generation. We were talking about this, Sharon, just a little bit ago before we got started on the recording. Mike has a TikTok presence, and no matter how you feel about social media, it doesn't really matter how you feel about social media. There's a whole group of young adults in their 20s and 30s that their whole path is changing because of social media. Whether that is their presence of them, whether that's investments, whether that's brand recognition, it doesn't matter. But they don't even have the thought process like we used to of work 30, 40 years, buy a house, get married, have a family. Like you just said, your last day at work is pretty much, it's not long after that you basically just gonna die. I mean, that's what you did. You work to live and then to die. And they're just like, huh? I'm not even thinking about that lifestyle. Like, we have 4 young adult children that are all in their 30s, and I don't think not one of them want to ever buy a house. It's like,
Mm,
I don't want a house. That's not something I want. And that was probably second our greatest accomplishment is home ownership.
Yeah.
hmm
Until you got to that point of you're like, wow, it actually then, when we thought of Panama, home ownership actually was a nuisance because it's something that, go ahead.
It became an anchor.
It was an anchor. It was an anchor. You're like, it's one more
Yeah.
thing I got to get rid of or do something with. And then you're like, it's weird how that the whole dynamic changes by changing countries. So I appreciate that. All
But
right.
that's good though. The work that y'all do is important for people to know. Like the world changed on you. You didn't change it. Like the rights that y'all were born with are now gone. And so,
Mhm.
like, look, you got to change what's going on. The important work that I appreciate about the two of you, like y'all have lived a lot and learned a lot, and that costs you something. It costs you money to learn it. It costs you time, sometimes mistakes, and
Yep.
y'all are sharing this with people and y'all ain't charging them for nothing. Like,
No,
and
never will.
I would argue it's worth something. It's definitely worth something, but you giving away the lessons that cost you a lot to learn, and so people get those for free, and that's beautiful work.
Yeah. And there's a reason. I mean, everybody got their own, but there's a reason. It's really the fact that, how, what was the statement? I could have freed so many if only they had knew they were slaves. And
right.
so
Yeah.
our whole mindset is a lot of people cannot afford a relocation tour. A lot of people cannot afford whatever the investment, the initial investment is, but they have the internet. And if Cedric and I can assist anyone with learning anything that we've learned, even if it's just exposure of the thought process of thinking about relocating to another country, then that's a great conversation for others to be able to have. Because as you just said, a lot of people feel like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And you can. You might have to change your path. You might have to change your plan. You might have to do some other things, but you can do it. You really can do it.
And my take on that is a little different, because as I get older, I wanted to actually accomplish something. So however you believe, when you get judged and the maker asks you, did you improve somebody else's life? I can say, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And that's my reason.
Yeah, you did.
Totally selfish.
That's beautiful. You absolutely did. So you job well done.
Thank you. We appreciate that. All right, we're going to do some rapid fires real quick here. All right, so coming from the content creator side, I'm going to go very quick. Why TikTok? Your major platform is TikTok. Why TikTok?
We got YouTube videos that we recorded 2 months ago. Them things are still in the can because it costs more time and everything to put it out on YouTube. TikTok was accessible and it was just easy to do.
Okay. When you created your TikTok account, did you have the mindset of documenting your life? Did you expect it to grow like it did grow? I mean, was it a plan? Or was it just like, you know what? I know you had a podcast. Let me just say some quick 60-second updates to everybody, and it just let it naturally do its thing.
No, it was intentional because we couldn't find people like us that moved like kids at the time. It wasn't a lot of information about that. And so I was like, well, somebody needs to know that this is possible and what you can do, how you fail at it, whatever it is. But we need more content for people who are in this stage so that there's more to learn from. So yeah, it was very intentional.
All right. Got one. Imagine a timer starts right now. Give you $100,000 to walk into any one store. What store are you going to?
I got to spend it.
You got to spend it. I'm going to make you spend it. You got to spend it.
$100,000. I'm probably gonna buy some property. It ain't gonna be a store. It's
Okay. That's fine. That's property.
It's gonna be something that's gonna keep me from having to spend monthly rent. So I'm gonna do that.
You're gonna invest. I like that. If you could change any one thing, I know you said when we started that you're in the process of packing up. So this may not reflect, but you might have done it already. If you could change anything about the location that you're currently at right now, what would it be? But in a way, I know you're in the middle of moving, so maybe that had a variance as to the next location that you chose. But if you could change anything, what would it be?
It'd be easier to get into the city. It
Okay.
takes a long time. Like I saw your interview with Next Stop Panama, and they were right. Like you got a window that you can come into the city, and I would change that.
Right.
That's the only thing. I mean, it's perfect everywhere for everything else.
But that's gonna happen. I mean, not
The
none of
metro.
it. When that metro come, and I love the metro here in Panama. I personally love it. I feel very safe on it. I've never had any questions in regards to. I'm like I tell you off camera one time we had an episode of being on the metro in DMV. Woo, that was an experience.
Oh, you didn't like that? You like the Panama Metro better than that one?
Yes, we
Okay.
had an uncomfortable situation.
Man, we went through the rough, tough, and dangerous.
Now I will admit, we had left DC
It was
area.
Baltimore.
We left that and we went into B-more. We were actually over there at that mall and where the Forrest Gump restaurant
Yeah.
at the marina, and we had
Oh, you
some
talking about? Yeah,
we
I
had
know.
some unmentionables that wanted to get on the train.
I
And
don't want it. They were there.
it was interesting. It was interesting. We just put it that way. But that can happen anywhere. But we just gonna let that be known. But we've never had that kind of experience here in Panama. So we're gonna end it right now with this one right here. You have a chance to have your family portrayed as a reality TV show in regards to moving to Panama, who's playing you?
Oh,
Who's playing you?
Um, it has to be somebody that's Kevin Hart. And the reason why I would say that, even though I'm taller, but it has to be somebody that's
So it's like, who isn't taller than Kevin Hart?
It would have to be somebody that's comfortable. Yeah, this your other channel, so this one's fine. So it has to be somebody comfortable with self-deprecation. We are very we laugh at ourselves a lot. Like it's a whole lot of stuff that's going on. Somebody has to be comfortable with that, like because we're learning. So it's a lot of funny stuff that happens, and so that's part of it.
Now, it's funny you mentioned your height. Before we get in, I'm gonna talk about that. You are a larger frame, and Cedric and I say this in regards to a lot of shopping. Whether you are a man or a woman, we say this a lot. If you wear anything really more than a 10 and a half in a man's shoe, might be a little hard for you to go into something that's a non-American store, non-Nike, none those type of stores, Skechers. Going into 11, 12, 13s, might be a little rough. If you're over this, if you're what we consider large frame, but ironically in the US is really not that much large of a frame. Those 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2" guys, you might have a hard time finding clothes and that type of thing here in Panama. What has your experience been in shopping for your frame? And if you don't mind sharing your height, thereabout size, so other men here.
So I'm 6'3". I'm over like I'm just saying I'm over 250. I'm a large human. And so, buying clothes in Panama, they got big and tall sections, but it's like a closet. There's not a lot of options in there. I know Panamanians that have large shoe sizes, and then they have to go to other places to buy shoes and it's not because they don't have the sizes here. They just don't have enough of those sizes.
They don't have enough.
Yeah. So that's been a challenge. I've been buying clothes because I kept a lot of shoes, probably more than I should have. But the shoes that I kept are like my favorite shoes. So when I show up in them shoes, it's like charge me whatever you want to charge me, and I don't like doing
You're opening the door. They're like, well, you can afford that. You got money. And Cedric is by no means a large frame gentleman. He does by no means have a large foot. Probably for his height, I guess 11 is a large foot for his height. But even when we go into just Stevens, Alice, Conway, any of those, so just regular stores where he's like, you have an 11? They're like, yeah, no, we ain't got that, sir. And I'm like, I can just imagine. We try to tell people that if you are even a woman, if you're used to shopping at Lane Bryant, if you're more, they do have more plus size sections for the women than they definitely do for the men. But if you are a larger frame man, don't live by our standard, bring you 10 days of clothes. You might want to go ahead and bring all your clothes until you transition to be able to find
all your summer wear.
Yeah, your summer clothes. You don't need no winter clothes. You might want to bring them until you can start transitioning, finding your spot as to where you're going to go get your clothes.
Yeah, there are things that I stocked up on before I came here because I knew it was going to be difficult. Like I wear these like shirts underneath, like the 32 cool shirts, because I need them in my size, and they really light and stuff like that. So it's certain things that you want to get. Hair products, if you need those, especially like for Black women, there's certain things that you like, you should probably get that or learn how to make it and get the ingredients or whatever. Like there's certain things you need to prepare for to come over here, and clothes is one of them if you are, like me, a man of size. So.
Man of size. And like I keep saying, it don't have to even necessarily be that you're super large. I mean, it can just be
bigger than the Panamanian.
Just bigger than the average Panamanian. Just bigger than the average Panamanian. You just might want to transition gradually before you just get rid of everything.
And a lot of us are bigger because for different reasons,
but
we are bigger.
Yeah.
And so, be prepared for it.
But the beautiful part about being here in Panama that people back in the States might not realize is that, man, you can get away with just wearing a t-shirt and some shorts every day.
Every day. That's not that.
There's no reason to dress up. No one is clocking you for your style here. Nobody.
Nah. It's very limited places you have to go being what we consider after 5 attire or nightlife attire here in Panama. It's just not the norm.
You know what? I see this a lot, and this was funny. This is just my observations, so I'm not saying anything negative about it. The other day, we was in We were going from Chorrillo to Casco Viejo. And so we were walking through not the fancy part in Casco Viejo, we were walking through the part where people actually live.
Yes.
Okay.
And there was a guy, he was collecting cans, and he had a whole bunch of cans on his shoulder. There was another guy who was walking down the street. He didn't have on shirt, he didn't have on shoes. All he had on was some brown shorts.
Brown.
Now, what was interesting about this guy that I was not ready for this. The guy with the cans said something to him.
Uh-huh.
They started yelling at each other.
Uh-huh.
All of a sudden, the guy with just shorts on had a machete. I said, where did he get this? Like, where did he get this from?
Where did this come from?
So he had a machete. The guy that was with us, he talked to him, whatever, and so the machete guy ended up like it was really cool. He was like apologizing to us because he didn't want to do that in front.
He didn't
of
want
us.
to do that in front of y'all and everything. But that's just how Haiti, David, gonna handle up whatever it was that was said. But he pulled that bad boy out wherever he had it from.
Wherever he had it from, he had on one piece of clothing.
One piece of clothing. You're like, man, where was this machete at? Where was it at? I love it though. I do. I love it. But you're right. I mean, I love this country. I love this culture. I love everything about Panama. I literally do. Cedric and I have felt at home since the first day we ever got here.
There's something about Panama that just feels at home. It just I can't explain it. It just feels good to be here.
And Mike and I happened to have been on a tour with T.O. Jolly of TJ Travels, and we were able to learn a lot about Cologne on that tour. And both of us, I would have to say that Mike is a little bit more probably of a historian than I am. But even in the back when we were talking, I've shared with Mike that I just felt that there was always a connection in my lineage. And after we went to this particular fort that T.O. Jolly took us to, I even became even more aware that you can't convince me otherwise. Those of you that happen to know your African history, even if you know what part of Africa your lineage might hail from, but many don't realize that there were stops along the way before your family ended up wherever they happen to have ended up in the US of A. And no one can convince me otherwise that somewhere in my lineage, somebody was here in Panama. And especially when I saw that fort, especially when I saw their window, basically the point of no return, it was something. It was calling me. My dad had said it. My dad came to visit us last year, and he said there is a calling. My dad's a very spiritually connected man, and he said there is a calling on Panama in your life. There's somebody was here, and I don't know. I don't know what they were. I will never know. Probably I will have to go. I don't even really know how I could even ever figure it out, because even if you do your DNA test, and most of us did, it'll tell you what part of Africa you came from, but it doesn't tell you who on what ship was where and what stops they made. They don't know either. But I just do. I really do feel like, and I don't know if there's something you've even expanded on. We talked about it that day, Mike.
Panama is it's not, I don't know if it's unique, but in this way, I mean, but one of the things that's special about it for us, I haven't experienced a place where you automatically feel like you belong there. Like it is assumed that you belong here. Even though I just got here, they assume they're going to come up to me speaking Spanish. They're going to come up to me just assuming that I belong because of the diversity in Panama, the way people have come here from different places. There's no reason to assume that I'm not from here. I'm here. I belong here. I can't get that anywhere where I was from. And I was living in a great place in the United States. But this is different over here. And like you said, that connection, like you feel that. T.O. Jolly he was actually the person that was with us that in the street. He's great to as a resource to go around and help you navigate Panama. But yeah, he'll teach you all of the ways that connectedness is felt here. And it's a beautifully healing experience to feel that, to be in a place that is not hunting you, is not trying to shorten your life in any way. It is just trying to let you live. And that's powerful. I can't say enough about it.
I love it. Thank you so much. All right, y'all, we're over time. And Mike had told us that we would be. He said, y'all ain't talked to nobody yet in 30 minutes. And so once again, we got another one of these hour interviews. And I'm sorry, y'all, but sometimes the conversation just be going, and he's a wealth of knowledge. Make sure that you are following him on his TikTok channel. Go ahead and drop that TikTok channel once again for everybody out there, Mike.
Yeah, so it's Maroon Phive on TikTok or at Webrats, WEBRATSS on TikTok. We are slowly making the transition to YouTube, but that's as I mentioned, that's a different beast. It's TikTok is acting foolish, and we still want to be connected with our people. So you can follow us on YouTube at YT Family Beyond Borders. That's my wife and I. She's also on TikTok. She shares a lot of helpful information about actually living and navigating Panama. So she is Miss Net, Nette, 2025 on TikTok. But check us out on YouTube. Hopefully we'll get some videos posted this soon. But
You will. You will. And I'm going to make sure for those that didn't catch those, it's going to be in the description of the video. Make sure that you do see that. And I'm also going to pin it in the comment. And there we go. There goes the bell. So we already know. So thank you so much. Until, hey, baby, come back real quick. They're going to have to wait a second.
All right.
Here we go. Until next time, like, share, follow, comment.
Subscribe.
All right, y'all. We out. Bell has rung.